We're back!
Holy crap, that sucked.
Do you ever feel like one little problem then becomes more problems and it becomes a giant pile of something?
It's the waterfall effect.
Well, hopefully everybody can hear us now.
Cascading.
And where's the culprit, Michael? Can we show everybody what happened? Okay. So this is the culprit. One little mini plug to mini plug pass through does not work. So Dunham ruined it all. That was Dunham's pass through.
I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, so we're gonna start from square one.
Yeah, we're gonna start over.
Okay, let's do that.
Everything should fix now. You should be able to see it full screen. You should be able to hear us just fine. Let us know in the chat room if you can. And we are starting over. So welcome now to the official Euphoria Games live stream for September 5th. I am Jeremy Dunham. I work here. I don't even want to go through the titles.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm Michael Shore. I'm the lead game designer on Offensive Combat.
And I'm Chris Archer, sound engineer.
Yeah.
And CCO.
And Chief Creative Officer.
Maybe we should get a sound engineer. What do you think?
not for the podcast.
Well, yes. What's got two thumbs and loves sound engineers?
Yeah,
that
guy.
So welcome back to the show. We were this close to drinking a whole bunch of beer.
Still this close
this week
to drinking a bunch of beer.
We are going to start over. If you saw our first broadcast, it was full of issues. We're going to start over. Welcome. We also have Blaine Higdon. He's our senior gameplay designer. He's playing. Come on in, say hi, Blaine. There he is. Thank you. And today's...
What a fucking nerd.
Today's agenda is we're going to talk about what happened since our last episode. We're going to talk about the PAX aftermath, how things have...
I like that description of it better, the aftermath.
The aftermath.
The PAXtermath.
Sounds dramatic. And then, of course, we'll be taking your questions throughout the broadcast. And at the end, we're going to do something nice for everybody, especially since they had to wait. And by everybody, I really mean like one or two of you. But
thank you for waiting.
Yeah, hang along to the end, and you might get something cool from us for free at the end of the broadcast. So, before we get...
Sorry, had to react to that shotgun to the back that Blaine just took.
Before we get moving any further, I want to remind everyone, you might see the scrolls and the text on the screen. You can get a beta key if you are not in our beta already by heading to euphoriagames.com or offensivecombat.com. There's a beta sign-up form in the bottom right-hand corner of both websites. Put your email address in there, and we will guarantee that if you do that today before midnight our time, which is Pacific, you will get a beta key within 24 hours, likely a few hours, but 24 hours for padding.
We can't guarantee a lot of things.
No,
smooth stream, other things, but we
Working
can guarantee
sound.
beta keys will go out.
That's just hitting send on an email. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, please do.
Chris R. Archer.
That's right.
Michael Shore, one word.
And Dunham Smash, that's one word. And of course, our official Twitter for Euphoria Games is right there on the screen. It's at Euphoria Games. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/combat.
I like us on Facebook.
Thanks.
I do too.
That's one down. So what has happened since the last episode, you might want to know. Well, technically, not much has happened since the last episode because it was a couple minutes ago. But since the last official episode, because I'm going to delete the other one, we've reached 1,000 Twitter followers. So thank you for following us. Yeah.
I can't even do the same joke. And Dublin Johnny said...
That's right.
It doesn't count if there's 950 porn stars.
It doubly counts if there's 950 porn stars. You guys have your priorities wrong.
We have 50 hardcore players and 950 porn stars following us on Twitter.
That's true. Actually, I ran a scan on them because there's new apps out there you can do find how many followers you feel. It's about 8% fake the last time I checked a couple days ago.
Nice.
So that's not bad. That's 8% spam bots and the rest are actual followers. So not bad. Also, one of the coolest things that I thought that we've had since the last episode is the QuakeCon champion, Matt, a.k.a. Zero, and his dad, Phil, came to see us at the studio. Part of his prize, if you missed it, was he won a QuakeCon tournament that we had in Texas last month, and his prize was to come to the studio, to meet us, to sit down and have lunch with the three of us. And he also got to sit down for a long one-on-one time with you, Michael, to talk about the game, tell us what he thought, give us some of the feedback, and then also inspire an in-game item. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, he came in the studio. He met everyone. He wants to be a environmental artist, so I talked to a lot of the artists and got some good tips from them. And then, we sat down, showed him the local build of the game, which has a bunch of new stuff that's going in for the open beta, and then gave us some feedback. And requested some items, and the weapon that he requested was our version of the Desert Eagle, the Deagle, which we've called it the Beagle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's I think we got a picture of that somewhere.
Yes, we do. But I'm not going to touch anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I
Maybe
will.
we could show
No, go ahead. This is live
live on the edge, because if
backspace. No, it's okay. It's okay.
All right, here we go.
Click it up.
It's going to happen.
You got it. You got it.
I can get
It's all
over
right.
here.
Here, pass it over, and I'll
Yeah,
get
I
it.
can't-
Pass it over. I
the
got. It.
laptop's in the
I
way.
got this one.
It's the Beagle.
Here we go.
tag. There it is.
Stop
you.
There you go.
Can you see it? Can you see it now?
I can see it just fine.
yeah, I can see
It's
it.
pretty awesome.
If you do it really fast, it'll look
Actually,
like an old school
and it's actually it
movie.
doesn't show its size based on the other guns, but this is a pretty
It's
call it
yeah,
a chunkier, meaty,
it's a
Yeah.
chunkier
meaty gun.
And that's-
heavy damage, slow
Hardcore.
fire rate.
And that's going to be the default line of Beagles/Deagles, whatever we end up calling it. But also Zero will have a special skin that everyone will have access to, but there's going to be one that he particularly inspired that we're going to call the Zero Tolerance skin.
We're gonna pass this back to Blaine carefully.
Normally we'd show you that, but we're still working on it. Ryan, our artist, is plugging away, so we'll let you know as soon as we have that ready.
Yeah, and he's also Zero also suggested a pwn, the Gragas dance. So we're gonna try and get that through legal and into the game.
Nice.
We're getting quite a few questions on the chat stream wondering if, before they know anything, is it PC, console game? What is it?
That's a good question. This is a free-to-play first-person shooter in a browser.
Free to pwn.
Yeah, free-to-pwn. We said that first, by the way.
Yeah,
And
despite whatever advertising you see.
the cool thing about it is it's of super high quality, right? It's console quality in a browser, which just is unheard of, and so that's a really cool thing. And we've taken the game and we've sort of broken the rules. We've created a mashup, and so you can look like you want, and you can gear up the way you want, and you can play environments like you want. This one's more of a Halo or Unreal style map, and we have things that are more on the ground, more in line with Call of Duty or Battlefield, and we have even stuff that's more like a Quake or something even more X Factor like in space. And so that's pretty cool. It is free to play with microtransaction, and before anybody says, "Oh my gosh, it's pay to win," the truth is that we designed this thing from the start, understanding what the players need to have fair play, and so everything that's a game changer in the game can be purchased with in-game currency, coin that you collect by playing, or hard currency or currency that you can pay for. And really the only thing that we're doing is exchanging time for money. So a guy like me who just can't play enough but still wants some of the cool items but isn't going to get an unfair advantage by buying them, will buy them so that I don't have to spend a long time to actually get to that that weapon or that upgrade point.
I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna monetize immediately.
Michael's actually a pretty heavy monetizer, but maybe somebody like Jeremy might grind away and earn everything sort of organically, and that's fine too. We want all types of players, and we know that people that don't have as much time will plunk down the money, and those are our customers, and everybody's a player.
Yep.
Right.
So,
Fair to play.
Valkyris says it's funny because every company says their games are pay to win, are not pay to win. And if no one is, everyone is. I guarantee you, ask any of our players out there in the beta if we were a pay-to-win game or not. There's nothing that's going to change in terms of being able to buy stuff with in-game currency. So
I'll tell you something that's kind of a definer, right? So during our closed beta, we didn't sell currency at all.
right.
Yet every single thing in the game was available, and we're not changing that at all for the open beta. When we start to ask people to pay us real currency for some things, that's just not going to change. It's exactly the same, and so that just kind of proves itself out. So I agree. What was the user's name?
Valkyris.
Yeah, Valkyris. You're right. It's lip service a lot of times, and Michael and I talk about this all the time. Everybody says whatever it is to get you in the door, and the truth is that we don't believe in pay to win. We just don't believe in it, and we believe that you can actually design a game that's actually fair to play, not pay to win.
It's play to win,
or play to win,
not pay to win.
Yeah.
Like the definition of pay to win is being able to get items with money that you can't get with anything else.
Yep.
Right, and that's just not true in our game. So
there's not any missile launchers that you can buy or armor that you can buy when you walk into the game that will somehow give you some massive improvement of your character that then everybody else has to buy it, or they're just not competitive. It just doesn't exist in our game. It's much more balanced. It's been being tuned for a lot longer.
Yep.
And we're not adding this to the game at the 11th hour. A lot of these games that say they're not pay to win were actually meant to be sold, and then later on they went free to play and then changed their economy up. And a lot of times what you have to do is to get people to actually give you money, sometimes you have to give them, if you don't design it the right way, then you have to just charge a bunch of money for a super powerful weapon, because that's the only way you're going to actually make any money on it.
It's very difficult to add in a free-to-play economy after a game has already been released without it.
Yeah, I think,
if not impossible.
I would ask, do you think things like, things like League of Legends, or StarCraft or things like that, I don't think those are pay to win, but they sell a lot of items in those as well. So
Belkers has a follow-up question. Wants to know,
Yep.
are there any items that are extremely hard to get via playing versus monetary?
Well, the philosophy is time for money. So it's harder to, it takes time to grind to get that coin to pay for an item where you could buy it for $1 or $5 or whatever. So I don't know what you mean by extremely hard, but in terms of time sink, like, it takes more time to earn the in-game coin versus plunk down a few bucks.
I think what he's also
not going to be easy, right? I mean, we shouldn't back away from that.
Right.
I mean, it's, when you're playing the game and you're earning in-game coin, there's going to be thresholds where it's going to be harder for you to progress because you have to earn. The same thing in leveling, right? We have a level arc that's progressive over time too, and so to get those cool character skills, from the skill tree and things like that, that's going to take time, and that's for all players, by the way. And in my opinion, those actually have a much greater effect on sort of the player's skill changes, and those can't be purchased at all.
Yeah, much more so than the weapons. Like the character skill trees, the perks that you've seen that were previously on the weapons that are now on the character, like, those are the kind of things you can't buy your way into. The closest thing you could say that you could buy your way into would be like an XP booster.
Yep.
But even then, again, time for money.
Yeah, you're you're basically, you're buying a token that says that you can earn XP faster.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that, by the way, as a person that's not paying with real currency too. And so because if you want to level faster, we're going to give you that opportunity as well. We'll have the same open double XP weekends and all the other things the other guys have. Just won't charge an arm and a leg to people to actually be involved in it. You'll always have an alternative.
We were talking a lot about content, and speaking of content, there's a press release that went out today from our friends at Highwinds, and the announcement was that we are using the Highwinds VDN for content delivery. Not necessarily a lot of people know what that means. Chris, can you talk a little bit about what that announcement means for the players and what it means for us?
Yeah, I think the guys in the closed beta are actually seeing this in action as they play right now. But a lot of games will they'll download directly from their server. So the server that you're on, you're downloading any new content from, or all that data is getting all shuffled around on that one server. And what we've done is we've teamed up with Highwinds, and what they do is they distribute all that content, like the little icons and all those things that come into your marketplace and all that stuff. The levels, everything, anything that's new comes through a CDN, which is a content delivery network, and this is a super, super fast delivery network that is used worldwide for all kinds of things, and they have a huge amount of bandwidth. And so you hit the button and it's going to go a lot faster because we're connected with these guys than you would ever get in sort of a non-connected to a CDN experience.
For closed beta players, are they using any of the CDN stuff now from Highwinds in the closed beta, or is that going to be turned on once we go to the open beta?
No,
just so they know.
Yeah, they've been using it, and if they hadn't, because we patched quite a bit during the closed beta. What a lot of people don't know, and I've seen this on the forums, is there's been some complaints about updates and things like that, and what they don't know is we actually, I think just in the last week, we've done 6 or 7 updates.
They're just not player facing.
They're not as much about, because we're working on a lot of the player facing stuff in the background, but we are fixing bugs, and we are doing some other things, and we're doing optimizations, and we're doing all kinds of other stuff in the background. So we do updates all the time. And if not for a faster network like our partners at Highwinds, it would be a lot longer of a process for them each time. And so this is really a benefit for them during this time. Now, after we go open beta, the patches will come a lot slower in terms of not every single day in some cases now, and so they'll just have a fast experience across the board, and it'll be exponentially faster just because they won't have to download as much.
Now you mentioned that one of the advantages that we can fix bugs very quickly, and one of the things I just want to address real quick is a question about a bug that someone's experiencing in the chat room, and that's that they're stuck at the offensive combat screen in terms of using the Unity web player.
Yeah.
This is when we do hear about this problem, we do know what a common solution is to it.
Yeah, it's usually pretty cut and dry. If you go to unity.com/web player, you can actually download sort of more formally the web player. There's probably an incompatibility with the web player that you currently have on your machine. You just download the web player that's right there. It usually works 9 out of 10 times. You'll be up and running and back in the game. And that's probably the most common problem we see is an old web player that doesn't want to update.
That problem was also solved by people on the forums by disabling any sort of ad blocking or pop-up blockers.
Sure. Oh, you mean the ability to upgrade the web player?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were getting stuck at, regardless if they did it through offensivecombat.com or through Unity, they were getting stuck, and it was because of an ad blocker.
We did. And you know what? We had actually something that we put into the game for tracking purposes that we fixed, and so that issue was fixed. And so now everybody that does get stuck, just go to unity.com/web player and download the web player, and you're set. That's one of the patches. See, not even Michael doesn't even know when we fix this stuff. So there you go.
Is there a preferred browser? I mean, we run on pretty much every browser you can think of. Safari, Chrome.
Of course, it's Safari, right?
Yeah. No, it's Chrome, right?
That's what I work on every day.
Chrome is what I prefer, at least personally. I think it's really more about personal preference. But we've made some optimizations, at least at this stage.
Chrome is generally faster. Firefox still runs very well.
Yep.
IE still runs really well, although it's probably the one that's least compatible in general with things.
And there is a full screen issue with IE. That's can you talk a little bit about what that issue is and let them know exactly for those that are experiencing it?
Well, basically, if you use IE, you can't go full screen, and that's not a problem with the game, but it's actually something that's deep inside of Unity that we need to get fixed.
Well, it's a Unity IE thing, and we also Phil, one of our programmers, also mentioned to me, and this is important, that I don't think you can shift crouch either. I think there's some sort of quick key in IE that actually causes that as well if you're in full screen. And so we're working on those things. I think that those are things that are fixable. We actually had full screen on IE for a while. I'll tell you right now, Richard would be very happy if Richard here at the studio would. And so, shout out to the guys in the LA office who never get shout outs. Dusty, Doug, Mike, and Richard down there. We're working on all of our marketing and business stuff. Those guys would appreciate it because he uses IE and he wants full screen. So we'll have to figure something out.
And that's the beauty of closed beta, as we identify these problems and we look to address them. So obviously the biggest thing that's happened to us since our last episode last week is that we went to PAX, and I would deem it successful.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we had a really good time there. I think we showed very well, and as a recap, if you missed last week's episode or didn't see our blog post on it, we were in the PC area on 300 plus machines. We were the featured game on Saturday at 6 to 7, and that means that a big MC, Hoopla, surrounded us. He got up on the mic, told everyone to play, and we passed out T-shirts. The T-shirts we debuted last week, they said "Just Pwn It," and we also had a Cockshot shirt. Yep, there you see. Chris is wearing the Just Pwn It shirt now. And
what? What are you wearing?
I'm repping QuakeCon 2012.
Did we give out all the Cockshot shirts, and therefore you don't have one?
No, I haven't washed mine yet. It smells like nerd.
Thank you for wearing that shirt.
It smells like nerd in video games.
And we also gave out literally tens of thousands of beta keys. So I think it was a big success for us. Can you talk about the show on the whole, what it meant to you guys, and some of the feedback that you got from players, either good or bad or in between?
Well, it was huge to be at PAX for one. It was great to see all the games in the Expo Center that are coming out in the next few weeks. It was good to see some friends that I hadn't seen in a while. And in terms of our game, like the feedback was very similar to what we saw at QuakeCon. Super positive. People would sit down and just play and keep playing, and for hours at a time. And most of the feedback that I saw when like I think we had like 150 players at one time at the max in the PC room. A lot of the feedback I got was actually like friends trying to join up together, and that was somewhat difficult. And so that's something we're looking into. You know, how to get friends to play together in an easier fashion, because it's possible right now, but it's not the most direct thing.
Sorry, I got distracted by Pwn.
Yeah. Well, it's comically difficult to play with your friends at times.
Speaking of playing with your friends, if you want to play with your friends, now's a great time to let you know. If you want to in on the Offensive Combat beta, go to offensivecombat.com or euphoriagames.com. Put your email address in the lower right-hand corner. We will send you a key if you send us your email address today. Within the next 24 hours. Really, it's going to be a couple hours. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Euphoria Games and like us on Facebook at Offensive Combat.
Yes. Yep. And something important. We shouldn't forget this, and we haven't said it in a couple weeks. But if you're not in the closed beta, you're not going to get the cool item that we have not disclosed yet. And that's something really exciting. And so, if you're in the closed beta and you're helping us out with the testing and playing and being a engaged user, then we're going to give you something really cool as being for being part of that. But once we open it up. Soon enough, and we won't tell. We're gonna surprise you.
Yep.
So touching on that real quick, a lot of game companies and publishers have promotions. Like, well, if you pre-order this now, you'll get a special game item, and then a week later they'll either give it away or they'll sell it, you know, immediately. How rare is this item going to be? What's the exclusivity
How pissed
level?
off are you when that happens?
It depends on the game. Personally, I mean, sometimes I hope that they become available because I don't realize
I'm pretty upset. I know
Michael
Michael gets really upset about that too. So
you mean when I won't even say it?
No, we don't even need to go there.
Saucy.
We don't need to. But
speaking of items, like imagine it was a condom balloon hat, as Dublin Johnny has suggested, and then we went and sold that 6 months down the road.
Yeah,
that would suck.
We're not going to do that. We're gonna we have a lot of really great users that are playing right now and helping us make this a great game experience. And we want to give them something special, and so it's on our dime, and we're going to give them something cool that we're just not going to sell.
Synax noticed that we were commenting on Pwns and asks why the animation after the kills. That Blaine got killed because he was doing it. What's the point?
Well, that is kind of the point. Pwns are a risk-reward situation. You kill someone, you have an opportunity to taunt them. If you successfully pwn them, you get XP and you get coin. Blaine took a chance and lost, and made a few people laugh in the process, most likely. So that's kind of that's the mindset behind the Pwns for sure.
And I think sort of philosophically, like we wanted to make a video game where we took all those things that are sort of suppressed in other games or thought of as negative, and actually make them central to the game. And so to sort of bring them up to the surface. And there's no more fun than I have than getting a kill and then shooting the body or hitting crouch or any like this stuff like this. And so we're basically giving you a couple things. We're giving you a really funny animation. I'll tell you, when you get pwned, it's not fun, and you want to hunt that guy down. And we give you tools to do that too.
Yep.
But
the
beacon, yeah. But we also give current. You also get in-game currency and XP for this, and this is part of that. This is part of that earning the in-game currency to earn all the things in the game. So it's an important part of the game.
And in the future, for open beta and beyond, when you pwn people, there's going to be a chance that they actually drop something. They could drop a beacon or a consumable, or maybe they drop more coin, or maybe they even drop a weapon. What if they dropped a free rental of a weapon for a few days? Like, that's pretty cool. So. That's a serious mechanic. That's a big part of our game, and we're going to make sure that people are incentivized to do that.
Yeah, we want the risk reward to pay off.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And we want people to do it, and we see. We have all these crazy metrics now that we never had back in the day, and so we can see just the day before yesterday, we. Funny tidbit, we had 168 pounds. 13,168 pounds. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. It's insane. The per person pounds were so high that day, and just You know, some days people feel like poning, and some days people don't. But you can see
Sometimes
how
you feel
common.
like a pone.
Since we're talking about
Sometimes
pones,
That's where I was going. Thank you for doing that.
we're getting a lot of comments about pones in
Yep.
the chat room. Blaine, if you could quit out for a second and
let's go through
head
the
to
pones.
store, show folks pones, because one of the questions is there going to be the tea bag? And of course, there's going to be the tea bag. That's kind of the original pone, I guess you could say.
The classic.
Yeah, the classic. So
The organic, the original.
here are the options, and this is not a full screen, so there's no error here. This particular screen is
You
not.
can probably go to the bottom, Blaine, and just preview them all full screen on the left.
So here you see.
That's Michael's favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
I did that.
Part to the,
I did that mocap.
Is that what that was?
That's
I was
actually.
wondering what the hell
And
that-
the problem was that we had to do it over and over again, and it really, you stunk.
Wait.
You stunk at that.
I had to get the essence. Like I didn't fart, but I
This
did
is
it
one of
so
my
well
favorites.
that you thought I did
The
fart.
Tebow Baggins. I love that one.
Baggins, that one's great.
Oh.
But we also have some more of the if being too insulting or offensive isn't your thing, we also have I guess you could say a little bit more classy poems as well, right? A little bit
Classy.
Well,
There you go.
There you go.
Like,
I mean, there's
not
a bow.
everyone
Yeah.
wants
Yeah.
to be a dick.
Right.
Some people want to have a very
Yeah.
That's totally classy. The music.
This one's
actu-
especially classy, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah, we do
Uh,
have the shocker. We also have the foam shocker, which is a weapon that lets you hit people with a
Yeah,
giant foam shocker.
do the hammer. Got to do some hammer time. Oh wow, love that one too.
Careful with your
So there's a
Standing
so
at something?
your
so
cord
th-
here.
this is just the beginning, right? So there's a lot in there. That's
See,
probably
that's the classiest one right there.
That's probably the worst one that we have. Oh, okay. There's some competition for the worst one. But the point is that this is just the beginning, right? You'll see all these, and then we'll continue to do post launch content, and so you'll play with these, and then you'll get some new ones, and you'll start to see those open up, and you'll get more and more of these items as time goes on. We have more ideas than we can shake a stick at in
Yes.
terms of the pones, and we have there's tons of stuff that's getting prepared for people for later.
By the way, this being Euphoria, I don't think a shake is what would be stick is what we'd be shaking. So, getting back to PAX.
Rhymes with stick.
It's true. Getting back to PAX, what sort of critical feedback did we get at the show? What were some of the things that people said, we'd really like you to add this or take this out or make this better? What were some of the things you took away that you think is going to affect the game in a positive way?
Well, definitely, like I said before, the more of the friend type party system type stuff where people can find each other in game easier. Our matchmaking will continue to evolve, and I think that's we got some feedback on that as well. Our weapons, we did get. There are certain weapons that are a little OP, so that kind of critical feedback from PAX of just like, hey, this is pretty OP.
The Razor being
The Razor
number
being
one.
number one,
Yeah.
and
You can tell, though. I can tell, because I know that not a lot of people said a lot of negative stuff about the game, which is always nice. And so it's Michael struggling to remember some stuff. You wrote some things down, and they were kind of consistent with some things we're hearing in closed beta. But generally speaking, I mean, my impression of PAX and watching all those players play was they had a lot of selection of games. They could have played the new Hawking game. They could have played the new Crossfire Go game. They
Team
could have
Fortress.
on the
Well, they
same
probably
on the same
played all of those
on the
games, to
same
be
machine.
honest.
But I saw them, a lot of them playing for hours and hours our game, and so that's really heartening. And
Well, here's one.
That was great.
I thought of another one. This was
Good. See, I got you negative
You
by
totally
going
get-
positive. I love that.
I'll show you negative.
I will. You will not tell me there's nothing negative.
Amazingly enough, people were actually just even on the main screen where it says click to start here, people were having difficulty understanding what they did next.
Yep.
They would just sit there and kind of stare at the screen, and
Yep.
I'd walk over and go, well, click on the character, and then they'd be like, well, where do I buy things? And the marketplace is right there at the bottom, but it's clearly not intuitively, it's not standing out in a way that says, hey, this is where I buy things. So, that kind of subtle feedback is, to be able to see that firsthand is always good, because it's the kind of thing that it's sort of difficult to articulate if you're a player, or even a dev.
Sure.
Well, and so.
Well, we're continuing to do things around that, and I'm personally working on some stuff that's going to help those players out. Dip their toe in at the beginning.
Mhm.
Some players get it right away, like Michael said.
Right.
And some players struggle through some of the menu stuff because it is different. I mean, we are trying a bunch of different things, and so sometimes you either have to make it more usable, or sometimes you just have to tell them how to use it.
And we for the open beta, when we hit that point, which we still haven't announced a date for, but it's coming soon.
Coming imminently, yes.
We're doing a lot of overhauls for the store and how you access things.
This level's changed significantly. That he's playing right here.
Wow.
This level here is Disastroids. We talked a little bit about it last week, but for those that missed the episode, how has Disastroids changed?
Well, we basically chopped it in half. This is the largest, or was the largest map in the game, and no longer. It's a lot more frantic now. It still has plenty of jump pads and plenty of the same elements, but it's definitely a different map. Super fast, super frantic. So I think if from anywhere from 2-on-2 to 8-on-8, it's a much better experience. Whereas like beforehand, if it wasn't a full server, it kind of was just a hide and go seek game.
Another thing we're working on that we talked about last week, we gave little hints for, is a hardcore mode, which is another type of game mode. It's can you talk a little bit just on a top level of what hardcore mode is about? Blaine, the guy playing to my left here, who's you're seeing on screen, is also.
He looks just like that too.
Yeah, he's actually
he's a dome-headed robot.
He's
with a Euphoria shirt.
He's one of the guys that's really spending a lot of time on that particular mode to make it cool.
Your wire keeps.
You want me to? Yeah. You want to do it?
Sure.
Go.
Hardcore mode. Go. It's very close to the Counter-Strike elimination mode. So no respawns. There's no consumables or power-ups in the maps, and all the weapons do twice the damage that they normally do. So it's as if everyone has a damage amp on at all times. So that's pretty damn hardcore.
Yeah, to mention, it's not just that, but it's also there's a revive mode version of that too.
There is.
Which would be something more like what your sort of hardest core shooters would be like if you were all at the elite level. And so it's something where, it's kind of no holds barred, a couple shots to death, and it's really it's an aggressive version of our game, and something be more competitive potentially.
Yeah, well, your strategy changes as a team when you can revive your own players. And so, as an opponent, you could, kill someone and then use that dead body as bait. And then there's
hardcore with respawn, where you can actually it's hardcore mode, but you die and you come back just like a normal mode. But it's a much harder core, sort of pure, call it, experience.
It's still
not a lot of power-ups and all the other stuff that happens.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I think in the end, all of these game modes, there's no reason why we can't have them as a hardcore mode as well.
Sure.
Hardcore CTF, hardcore counterpoint. Hardcore, free-for-all, all that stuff, totally feasible with hardcore mode. And so effectively, we're twice that game, we're the regular OC and we're hardcore OC.
Yeah. Well, it's that mashup again, right?
Yep.
We keep coming back to that. We like that our game is kind of malleable that way, and we can, whatever the users want is what we're providing for them. They've asked for sort of elimination hardcore modes, and that's what we're providing to them. They've asked for things that are OP to get toned back, and that's what we're doing. And so we're really listening.
I was actually thinking about. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. The other day, I haven't really pitched this to anyone, but a game that involves all the OP stuff,
just OP everything.
OP, it brings back the super weapon consumable, the shit brick. It puts the razor at beta levels, just call it stupid mode.
OP mode. Blaine, do you think you can work that out? It's like, no problem.
Thumbs up, jerk.
I can make stuff OP.
Idiot. Yeah, he's pretty quiet, so I think I know his opinion on that one.
What else we got, Dunham?
And another thing that we did at PAX is the two of you guys went on Twitch TV's official channel as hosted by Screw Attack. And you spent an entire hour on there talking about the game, showing footage. And if you guys want to see that interview, which was pretty extensive, it was about 60 minutes long, it's another Twitch TV channel. Don't watch it now because we're still talking to you.
Yeah, don't leave us.
Twitch.tv/screwattack.
I'm very needy. So,
Twitch.tv/ScrewAttack, and you can see the interview with you two that you had there. What were some of the things you guys talked about at the event, besides wondering if I was all right? Because
It's true. Dunham disappeared the night before, and we couldn't find him.
Yeah. I was all right. I basically took a sleeping pill and sort of disappeared.
I'm going to do that next time. Because that was early.
Yeah.
That was an early interview.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekend, PAX weekend.
Hours and hours of PAX the previous 3 days.
So what do we do? We talked about the usual things. We talked a lot about, sort of what makes offensive combat offensive. Definitely talked about the pay-to-win model, right? And sort of the people's push against that, and we talked about how we would do that, and
we talked about how the game was exactly offensive.
We did,
and how we keyed in on that,
and I think they really caught on to sort of what makes it interesting, and it can be. I mean, that's the cool thing about this game experience. You can be sort of a hardened soldier. Mm-hmm. You can be like a space soldier, or you can be a character in a banana suit with panda legs. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so we really cross this spectrum where it can be offensive or ridiculous, or it can be serious. And so you can play the way you want. And I think that's really fun. Early on, there was a push towards just making another war shooter, and we were talking about a lot of different ideas, and we're pretty good at making shooters in general, and so we were thinking about that, and we thought, well, let's wait until we see these other characters in the game and see how people respond. And literally the first time that those characters entered the map, you saw all the guys that were dressed as Call of Duty type soldiers hunting these lizard-headed chicken leg guys, and sort of angry that they were sort of infesting their environment. I thought that was kind of a moment in time where you went, okay, so our hardest core Call of Duty guys are now interested in the game because for a different reason than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
And now it's actually sort of an emotional attachment to it. The idea that doesn't belong in my core shooter, and then the space shooter guy probably thinks the same thing, and then the guy that wants to be ridiculous is just being ridiculous.
That's one of the things that stood out to me most from PAX is that as we walked around the floor there and watched people play, a lot of folks actually were gravitating towards the banana. A lot of people wanted to be the more ridiculous thing, and I think that that's part of what makes us unique is the fact that we do have that option that allows people to just kind of be goofy but still play a serious shooter in terms of the quality of the gameplay and the visuals and
just
the modes.
Player creativity. And Michael, I think, said it. This is probably the big thing on the Screw Attack show. I think one of the questions came up related to sort of what's the theme, what's the lore, and I think Michael said it best in that you're the lore, right? You create your character, you sort of specialize and sort of hone your look and your loadout and all of these things, and you're telling your story, and everybody else is telling their story, and I think that was well put and kind of describes our game. I mean, it doesn't have a hard and fast theme, except for the fact that you are actually that hard and fast theme. What you want to play, how you want to play it, that's the theme of the game.
Speaking of the game, if you want to play the Offensive Combat closed beta, you can go to offensivecombat.com as you see the scroll up there at the top of the screen.
Pepsi. Oh, sorry.
Trying to get a sponsorship?
Your mic is still on.
Hey, we are startup, but Pepsi sponsorship wouldn't be so bad.
Wait. Aren't we supposed to?
There you go. You should also react. Oh, that's so good.
I'm thirsty.
There you go. And anyway, go to offensivecombat.com, put your email address in the box in the lower right-hand corner of either site, that one or E4A Games. We will get you a beta key within the next 24 hours, likely less amount of time. Just make sure you do it today in order to get it within that time frame. You can also follow us on Twitter at Euphoria Games, and on Facebook.com you can like us at Offensive Combat. One of the things that I think that I really took away from PAX outside of the reactions from the people was the fact that the team, us as a team, the company really pulled together and really made that show happen for us. We got in late, admittedly. We came in at not very early at the show, but we still managed to make it, and we still had a really good showing. So I just want to take this opportunity out there, and I wrote it down to make sure I didn't miss anyone. To thank Doug and Mike on the marketing team, and our PR folks, Sean and Andrea, and the PC area floor master, who was awesome. That's Johnny Johnson. I told him to put J in front of his name, so he has like the perfect alliteration. He's from the PAX team himself. He was awesome.
Jonathan Johnny Johnson?
Or just Jay, like kind of Jameson.
Oh,
sort of thing.
J-A-Y, yeah.
And then Alex, who is our programmer, he went down there and set up the whole server for us, and really worked through some issues there on the fly. And all the Euphoria team members that went down there, we had Ben and D-Mac and Evan, Heath, Josh, Justin, Matt, Phil, Spencer, Chris Vanderleest, who does all the voices. And, of course...
Oh, my.
Oh, my. And then, of course, a special shout-out to Sabrina, who did a lot of work in the show.
Way above the
She was there
the Call
more
of
than
Duty,
anybody.
so to speak.
Yeah.
No question. She was pretty much ran the show for us, and so thank you, Sabrina.
Opening to close, did a really good job. What are you looking at my sheet for? So thank you, all of those guys. What do you need? What are you looking for?
I thought
you forgot to thank Michael Shores. He was trying to see if his name was on
we
the
were
list.
there.
No. You're all hopped up on Pepsi. Hush. I thought you were going to talk about T-shirts. Is that at the very end?
That's at the very end,
Oh.
Mr. Spoiler.
Spoiler!
I thought you were
my
going to
gosh.
You
give them
still
a
have
chance.
15 minutes to go.
I thought you were going to give them a chance to earn T-shirts.
They are.
Yeah, at
You
the
can
end
earn
of the show.
T-shirts at the end of the show, so stay tuned.
Avengers.
You still haven't seen the Avengers? Don't spoil it for him. He hasn't seen it yet.
No, you know what? Spoil it for him. No, I think
Nice.
a funny little anecdote is that we did not do one thing. At least Michael and I didn't do that, and that's get the PAX virus.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Not
happy to
yet.
say. Well, not yet.
The day is young.
There was a religious pilgrimage towards the antibacterial foam.
Oh,
Strategically placed
We were
all
just
throughout
it was pretty
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks PAX this year for
That was smart.
And we were joking about it, and this is kind of like a little side story, but we were joking about it because the ironic part about a PAX virus would be that if it was the zombie apocalypse, so here's the kicker. All the people that actually know how to kill the zombies were at PAX.
That's right.
And
And
so
so
if it
the
started there, yeah.
The shit would hit the fan. Everybody'd be dead. All the guys that could actually know how to shoot or kill a zombie would be dead.
And
no
it
zombie
would be
apocalypse.
Would be zombies.
It would be called the PAX virus. That's a perfect name for a virus.
So
Or the
anybody who has
PAX box.
PAX
Box.
box was the other name for it. Yep.
We did have one team member get sick, but we did have one person get infected, and he's thankfully sitting at home to make sure the rest of us don't turn.
No, that
into-
was yesterday.
Yeah. See, I didn't see.
Oh,
him.
that's right, man. It's all
And
blurring.
I think he was just recovering from his Crisis 3 Mohawk. I think.
That was a thing at the show.
The exposed head made him vulnerable
We
to.
had-
He said his head
to
was
virus.
cold and he couldn't get out of bed.
We had a couple of team members shave their head and get the Mohawk thing going on. And yes, we will give you the website again if you missed the email. It is offensivecombat.com, as Barnell there said, and that's Sabrina. So you guys can thank her too. She did a good job.
Got any good questions from the feed there, Dunham?
Well,
Dublin
actually,
Johnny wants jetpacks. And,
I do too. I want a jetpack.
no.
Do they sell those?
Nope.
Oh,
No,
they're not a real
not
jetpack.
in real life, in the game.
Yeah, no jetpack.
No
Sorry, buddy.
jetpacks. Sorry.
One of the questions, it's not there now, but it came up earlier. One of the questions is, where did the idea to make this browser base come from? What was the thinking behind that? And while you answer that, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the shirts to show people what they look like.
Sure.
You're wearing one, but not the.
I think this
costume.
was one of the questions that came up on our Twitch broadcast this weekend as well, and I think from it's more of a company perspective, right? From Euphoria as a company, we're trying to do things that are not what everybody else is doing, but not just for the sake of looking forward and seeing like we came out of the console, right? And so we were thinking, well, where's the next vector? What's the next cool thing that's coming out? PC is growing and mobile is growing, and so we're very much in that space. And then even further than that was, are there any console quality first-person shooters in a browser? And at the time, there weren't. Right? They're good quality products in a browser, and they're good quality.
Quake Live is great quality,
Yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
console quality
No,
for sure.
and so-
it predates
Yeah,
consoles.
so you take it, they couldn't be, right?
Yeah.
So you take it to the next level, and so I think from the get-go we were thinking, how far can we push that aspect of it, and that's why we got that far. A lot of people weren't willing to take that risk, and so to answer the question simply,
Yep.
it was that we saw an open opportunity, a place where not a lot of people were swimming, and we took a risk.
Yeah, and using Unity definitely helped. It's definitely a great engine to use if you're in a browser. It's pretty low overhead. I'm actually surprised at what our art team and programming team managed to get together and make work. I think it's a gorgeous game. When I crank it up, it just looks amazing.
No, I know, and I also would say, I've seen a lot of the other Unity stuff, and I think there's some pretty good stuff out there, but I don't think as a package.
I've seen some Unreal stuff that this looks better.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't compete with this, and so yeah, it's I'm excited about it. I'm still excited about it, and I've been working on it for the last year, so it's amazing. Oh, what do you have there, Jeremy?
One thing I'm excited about.
We should talk about what we did at PAX. So at PAX, all the players that were playing, if they actually got a cockshot, we actually gave them a cockshot T-shirt, which he's showing you right here.
It was like bingo.
Not available in stores.
They would just raise their hand and yell out "cockshot," and we'd go run over there and give them a shirt.
And I think awesome. Phil was telling me he was working the show, and Phil was telling me that he told the rules to one of the guys, and one of the guys that was in line waiting said, "Well, what about us? What do we do?" And he goes, "Well, you didn't do a cockshot," and so he turned around and punched his friend right in the nuts. And then Phil said, "Absolutely, you get a T-shirt."
Yeah.
So,
but you don't have to do that to get one.
No. As we are now near the end of the show, we're getting pretty close. We are giving these 2 shirts away. It was really successful, the event, so we don't have that many shirts left.
A few shirts, yeah.
We have a few shirts left. So what we're going to do is we're going to give out one each of these. They're both XLs. We don't have them smaller, sorry. But number 1, we're going to give them out, and we're going to autograph these to whoever it goes out to. So that's 1. That's something that no one at PAX had. Number 2, in order to get them, all you have to do is, in this stream right now, you basically have to ask us for it. Just say, hey, I want that shirt. Tell us which one you want, and tell us why you want it in the chat window, and within the next 15 minutes. And then when we're done, we'll cycle through it, and we will pick the winner, and we'll announce it before the show's done. And then we will private message you from our chat and let you know that you won, and get your personal info so we can mail it to you.
Do they need to say anything? Like, how is there? Are we judging like? This is the funniest comment, or
it's going to be totally up to us.
Is it complimentary? Like, do they need to compliment us, or
no? That would help, though. That would help a lot.
I need a shirt. Hey, Michael, you're looking pretty cool today.
Yeah.
How you doing?
What about me? Do I get the shirt?
You already have. You have the shirt.
You're wearing the shirt that you can win right now.
Fail.
So basically,
ask fail.
All you have to do is ask for it, which I see some folks are already doing, and throwing in a reason why you want it is good.
Hey, I want a cockshot shirt because I like punching people in the dick.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
That comes from Zero, our
winner. Wait, hold on. Our legal department just called in. Yeah, for legal purposes, please do not punch your friends in the dick.
Yeah. In the dick. Actually, don't punch strangers in the dick either.
In general. Yeah, don't punch anybody in the dick.
It's not a good way to introduce
But it
yourself.
is funny to watch on YouTube.
When other people have done it,
that has nothing to do with us.
This could be interesting. The coming curse wants
Oh,
to
shit.
Oh!
Punch!
Oh, man, I'm glad I don't wear glasses anymore.
Oh, I want to use this now. Let's
wait.
Every time.
You're going to put your hand in there?
No.
I'm just saying.
Double and Johnny wants me to know that I look normal. Thanks, Double and Johnny. I think that's the nicest thing he said to me ever.
What did he say?
That I look normal.
Oh.
So, thanks.
Oh, wow. Compliments are flowing.
Yeah, I know. Well, again, that's probably the nicest thing he's ever told me.
You know, and a little teaser here. You may or may not see that punching glove in the game sometime soon. You may or may not. I don't know.
That's really good foreshadowing.
You might see it. You might not.
That was the worst tease ever.
You may or may
I didn't have enough Rob Sherry Pepsi today.
So again, if you want one of these shirts, let us know. You just put it in the chat window. It's this one here. It's Disappointed. It's the one that Chris is wearing. And it's this cockshot shirt right here. Just like that. So if you want that shirt, you want the Disappointed shirt signed by us as a team, you let us know, put it in there, and we'll hook you up.
And I know Richard would like me to say that at some point we'll probably have some of these shirts available on our website.
Yes, I hope so.
For purchase. And so I know a lot of people
hope that
want
we
to
have them for characters in game.
That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? If in open beta we might have shirts that you might be able to put on your character in the game.
I like this one quite a bit. That's Shway from V. I like this description. I'd love to have that sexy cockshot shirt to show off while I stream not only your amazing game, but also other games, so people who don't know about the game can be made aware of it. Plus, how awesome would it be for me to be able to jump up and yell, "Cockshot," and point to my shirt every time I got one?
I think
I think that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good one.
I don't know.
You're not giving it away early, are you?
I don't know, but
I
right now,
spoiled the surprise, so all bets are off.
What do you think? Should he win? I think that's a pretty good one.
That's pretty good, but I mean, you got to give people a chance to respond.
I know this is my
he's
boy to
definitely
get them to respond.
he's definitely in the lead right now,
That's
no
right.
question. Do we have anything else on the on our agenda today, Dunham? While we have people begging us for shirts.
We actually covered everything, but since people are begging us for shirts, just one more reminder won't hurt. You want to sign up for the closed beta. You want to get in this game and play it against Blaine, who is playing right now. He's also our
nice pwn.
Gameplay. Yeah, and he just pwned our QuakeCon champion. So go to offensivecombat.com or euphoriagames.com. Put your email in the box. Send it to us. You will get a key from us within the next 24 hours. We guarantee it. We hope to see you in there. It's fun. We've had a lot more people come into the game lately. It's the more people to play, the more fun it is, and I think you're really starting to see that. You can also follow us on Twitter at Euphoria Games, and we're on Facebook.com/offensivecombat. Please like us if you like the game, or just want to help us meet our quotas. What is our quota, Chris? Always more, right?
Well, earlier you said we had 1,000 Twitter followers, and if 950 of them are porn stars, and you said I think 8% of them were fake.
That's right.
I think we have 980. Do we have more than we need? Yeah, we need 80 more. Need 80 more.
If 80 of them, or if 8% are fake, then 80 of them.
Yeah, so we need at least 80.
We need 20
from the show.
Oh yeah. Beep boop.
Here's another.
That's right. That's why we don't do math.
Yeah. Zero wants a shirt, so when he live streams, he can punch his bro in the dick and yell "cock shot" when he gets one in the game. Also, yes, this is another giveaway. By the way, is subpargamers.com. Is someone we're helping out. We gave them some beta keys to give it on their Twitter side, so they're in the chat. And also, if you guys want a beta key, and for whatever reason you don't want to do it through us, and you want to help out those guys, go for it. Subpargamers.com.
Brutal.
He's trying to use the STD and get cock shots. I see where you're aiming, buddy.
Yeah, the STD is a special weapon.
So for those that may not know this, what is the STD? Which is the name of the weapon, by the way. We're not talking about.
This is the Vendetta. It's the STD is a variation of the Vendetta, and it does massive cock shot damage. So you have a very
I like massive cock shot.
Massive cock.
Nice.
Shot damage.
Nice pause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very Shatner-esque.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Come on, you're the master of foreshadowing.
You're giving me shit. You're giving me shit for that.
Foreshadowing everything.
I'm done with you.
Wow.
No.
So you have the STD has a very high percentage or a very high chance of killing someone with a cock shot.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I don't think any other game has that.
No.
Especially designed by Blaine.
that was
actually every time we do a cock shot and it's from that weapon, it should say Blaine TM. It just shoots out with the numbers. It just says Blaine TM.
What you guys don't know is when we were working on Unit 13 and SOCOM, we had to keep Blaine from making everything have extra cock shot damage. He was obsessed. He was like
you can hear him laughing.
Great.
He's trying to play
sniper rifle, but I want to blow.
If you get a kill right now while we're talking, see that's what I thought would happen. He's lost it.
There you go.
So what are we doing? Where are we at?
So we're done with the show.
Okay.
All we have to do now is award people their shirt. What do you guys think for the cock shot? Who had the best cock shot?
I think definitely
I think
the super long-winded one. Let's
Shui from V.
What?
What's that? Okay, and Sabrina
Sabrina gets to pick the winner. You know what? Sabrina gets to pick the winner of the second shirt because Sabrina was our PAX promotion. She basically handed a code to every living being.
So here you can use this.
So who's winning the orange Just Pwn It shirt?
I vote for Ice Weird, actually. You have been asking the entire stream, so.
Nice. Okay, Ice Weird wins.
We will send you a private message through the chat room. Don't go anywhere to get your advice. And I think Shui gets the cock shot.
No question. No question. Yep.
Right? Thanks, Sabrina.
Congrats, guys.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sabrina.
And that's it. So stay tuned. Don't leave the chat room for those guys. I'm going to hop over back to my desk and private message you to get your details to send the shirts to you. Thank you guys for watching the show. We'll be back again next Wednesday at 3 p.m. this time, hopefully with no more. That's what we want. We want one show with no problems.
You doomed us.
Yeah. Why did you say that?
Okay.
There you go. Knock on wood.
Boo.
We made it. We made it the full hour.
We did. And
Nothing
so
broke.
Thank you for joining us.
And by the way, by the end of the show, we did screw it up earlier, but
Yeah.
sound actually worked.
Yep.
It's running in full screen, full
Mhm.
res.
It
Mission
wasn't-
accomplished.
It wasn't our fault the first time though. That thing had a hardware failure that was completely beyond our control.
Damn you,
Yeah,
pass through.
right there. That pass
Rah!
through destroyed everything.
It's like
Should
a
we actually
wishbone.
break it?
Can we break it? It's a wishbone.
Yeah, it's-
And one last thing before we go, our QuakeCon champion Zero will be having his own stream in 5 minutes, so hop on over there. Zero, go ahead and stick your address right there in the chat window so everyone knows what it is. Or actually, just tell me the last name.
That's
You're going to
what-
go and private chat people,
Right.
and now you're telling him to stick his
Stick it in.
thing in the...
Put it all the way in.
Where did the show
I
go?
don't
Wow.
Maybe we did have beer, but when
We did.
start. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
again.
Take
See you
care.
next week.
We'll see you next week. Give me that mouse plane. Thank you.
This is where we do crazy stuff while it's still broadcasting.